Wild Time Cooking with Allison Davis is brought to you by Corman Kitchen and Bath.
Welcome back to Midday Kentucky. Chef Allison Davis here in the Wild Time Kitchen over in the Shinaway Shops. And I'm just focusing in on a simple go-to, what I like to call sheet pan suppers for dinner. They're one of my favorite things to do if you're in a hurry and you're preparing meals for the family and you just have, say, a bucket list of things that you have to get done for the day, laundry, dishes, you name it. This is a great way to prepare a healthy dinner that you can just put in the oven and everything goes on the sheet pan and you just cook it till it's done, right? So, and it's wonderful. So we're starting with just some chicken. This is whole chicken that has been broken down just into different parts. So we've got the thighs, some tenders, some legs, some breast, and some wings. And then we're just going to be building all of this together on what I call a sheet pan. On the sheet pan I have just lined with parchment paper. If you don't have that, you could just simply spray it. And then this is going to be kind of a fall dish because we're working with some root vegetables. I've got some butternut squash. Put this bowl here. I've got some butternut squash that we're just going to dice up. And I've got some red cabbage, which I think would bring a nice color. Another thing that you could use would be just maybe say like some whole Brussels sprouts on the sheet pan if you wanted. So we're just rough chopping it, right? So just going through and just taking that butternut squash and cutting it into segments. I did go ahead and peel the squash off the butternut squash just because that peel is super tough. But with the acorn squash, I'm just going to slice it and then lay it across the sheet pan. So I just keep the skin on the butternut squash because it will actually get soft enough and you can kind of eat the whole thing. So we'll take that and kind of lay that across. Very, very fall already. All right, with the cabbage, because it's going to cook a little bit faster than the squash, I will keep it in segments, and then we can pull it apart and lay it on the plate. But I'll keep it in like quartered segments. So we'll just put some nice big segments of our cabbage across the top or on the corners. And then we're ready to kind of start our marinade. We're going to do a honey Dijon chicken glaze that's going to go over our chicken breast. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to bring a little bit of crunch to this and give it some texture since we're not going to be frying or breading this. So I'm going to mix up our marinade. We've got about a 1/4 cup of Dijon mustard and then a 1/4 cup of honey. And that's just the perfect little mixture. You've got a little sweet, tangy, salty combo there, and the honey really does give a nice caramelization on the chicken and will also kind of blister up a little bit. All right, to this we're going to add some garlic, about 2 to 3 cloves of garlic minced, and then just a splash of soy. Okay, then I'm going to season this bit with a bit of salt and pepper. And we're just going to whisk this up and just kind of get this poured over top of our chicken, okay? So the honey just kind of smooths it out, the soy thins it out a little bit, and now we just have a nice little glaze that we can pour and kind of toss our chicken in. So we'll have that ready. All right, what I'm going to do now is just salt and pepper the chicken. I always salt and pepper whatever it is that I'm cooking ahead of time. Just adds to a little bit more seasoning. And then this is going to go on top of our vegetables. So then all of our chicken is just going to lay on the sheet pan and it's going to add flavor to the vegetables as it cooks. All right, there's a little bit of fat in the skin and this is just going to continue to cook off in the oven. All right, we're going to take that honey Dijon glaze and we're just going to kind of start drizzling everything with this glaze. Okay, you guys are with me so far? All right. Then for our topping, like I said, I wanted to do a little bit of like a crispness to this because the chicken, again, isn't breaded and we sometimes like a little texture. We're going to top this with a little bit of just chopped pecans, okay? Again, I'm just thinking of all these wonderful flavors of fall. All right? So that's ready to go in the oven, and we have one final touch. We are going to just lay some fresh herbs over the top. like our fall herbs, like sage. We can just lay a little bit of fresh herbs, rosemary, right over the top, a little bit of thyme. And then this is just going to infuse that flavor. And then when we cook this chicken, it's all going to, we're just going to take those herbs off, and you're going to have all that wonderful flavor of the herbs in with the vegetables, the chicken, and everything. So there you have it, sheet pan supper. Put together in 5 minutes. This is going to go in the oven at about 375 for about 45 minutes, just to make sure the chicken and all the vegetables are all the way cooked through. If you have a thermometer, you certainly can just stick a thermometer in and temp it to 165. All right, guys, thanks for watching. You can find this recipe at middaykentucky.com/recipes. I'm Chef Allison Davis. We'll be right back after this short break.